Today we're going to be reading Her Story, 50 Women and Girls Who Shook Up the World. This is a nonfiction book and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, and in each section there is a small biography of many women. Mother Theresa, from the Help and Heal section. Mother Theresa, nun and champion of the poor. Family and faith. Agnes Ganja Boyajou was born in 1910 in a small town called Skopje in Albania. She lived with her parents, sister, and brother in a large house with a pretty garden. Her family were faithful Catholics, and her mother taught her to love God and other people. Her parents were very kind, generous people who never turned away someone in need. When Agnes was just 12, she had a vision that God was calling her to become a nun. She continued with her studies and had to wait 6 years before she could travel to Ireland to enter a convent run by the Loreto nuns. She never saw her mother again. And here's a picture of Agnes as a young woman. Poorest of the poor. As a nun, Agnes had to promise to love God above all else and to commit herself to a life of poverty. She was happy to do this, and after just 6 months in Ireland, she was sent to India. When she took her vows, promising herself to God, she chose a new name, Theresa, after a French saint who believed in doing good by doing small things with joy. In Calcutta, in India, with the Sisters of Loreto, Sister Theresa began her life's work, teaching and caring for the poor. But Sister Theresa felt that God was calling her to do more. She needed to get out onto the streets of Calcutta to help the poorest of the poor. After getting special permission from the Pope, she left the Loreto nuns and put on a plain white sari, dressing like the poor women she wanted to help. With just 5 rupees in her pocket, she started a school in the street, writing on the ground with chalk. And if you look at this picture over here, it shows her writing in chalk with the kids on the street. Poverty is even greater when it is a poverty of the heart. There were and still are many poor people in Calcutta, and everywhere Sister Theresa looked, she saw hunger, disease, and suffering. One day, after watching a woman die in the streets, she decided to start a home for the dying, where they could live their last days and hours with dignity and peace. At first the work was lonely as well as hard, but it wasn't long before Sister Theresa was joined by other nuns who wanted to help her. The Pope let her start a new order called the Missionaries of Charity, and she became known as Mother Theresa. Mother Theresa wanted to help the poor not just to die well, but to live better. So she started opening schools and orphanages in India and all around the world. And here is an illustration of Agnes. The poor do not need our compassion or our pity. They need our help. What they give to us is more than what we give to them. Let us always meet each other with a smile, for a smile is the beginning of love. And in this picture here, it says Mother Teresa helping the sick and the poor. And this one here is a nun working in a hospital in Calcutta, India, set up by Mother Teresa. There are now more than 500 centers in more than 100 countries helping poor people to have better lives. Leaders from all over the world met with her, and she became a very powerful leader herself, making the world pay attention to the problem of poverty. Shaking up the world. In 1979, Mother Teresa was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, and as with her many other prizes and awards, she gave all the money, including the money that would have been spent on the awards dinner, immediately to the poor. She continued her work for another 20 years, changing millions of lives. She began to have heart trouble in her 80s, but continued working until shortly before her death, helping those less fortunate than herself until her great heart could give no more. Want more Her Story? Check the description for this flip through and the Amazon link to purchase the book. Thank you for listening.